So very good morning to all the students of class 10th D. As you know, we are reading Nelson Mandela and we'll be continuing from page 21 onwards, beta. We have read so far about this great personality who fought bravely for the, you can say, freedom of South African people, black people, and he is thankful to all the brave heroes who lost their lives in this struggle of freedom. He also remained behind the bars, fine, to get this freedom. And he has shared his autobiographical account in this chapter. In this book, there is one excerpt from his book, and we are reading this about long walk to freedom. It was very long walk. Many years were included in it. That's why the subtitle says long walk. Clear? I'll be sharing the screen with you now, beta. From page number 21 onwards, I've already highlighted it. In life, every man, there are the questions that we'll be doing later on when we'll do exercises and all. Clear? So in life, every man has twin obligations. Obligations are duties. We have duties towards two things. Fine? See, now students enter and they create. My diversion is here and there, so sorry for that. In life, every man has twin obligations: obligations to his family and to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country also. Fine. Now this is that I'll compare this thing with the real life. Now we have, see, during this COVID time, we are having our responsibility towards our family, that we have to save ourselves first from this COVID-19. Then we have to save our family also. Fine. Then we have to save, we are having twin obligations here. One towards ourselves and our family. Second obligation is toward society also. I have seen many people, those who are having the, you can say, signs of COVID, like they are having cough, cold, fever. Even then, after taking paracetamol or after taking medicine from doctor, they are not able to get rid of it, and they are not taking it seriously, and they're moving here and there. They're going to, you can say, some places to buy things in the market. So whenever we are passing by, we come in contact with such people. That's why it's multiplying day by day. Fine, this COVID is multiplying day by day. So this is the reason we are having twin obligations now. One obligation towards our family, other obligation towards the society also. So we should take care of ourselves first, our family first, and we should take care of the society also. If we are having some problem, rather than moving out, we should sit at home. We should isolate ourselves from rest of the people. So this is the thing to be noted down. Clear? In this case, Nelson Mandela is saying that I have twin obligation. One is towards my family and second towards my community, my black people, my country also. So in a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. So he's saying that every person, of all of us, we can fulfill those duties according to our own inclinations and abilities. Inclination is when you are having preference in your life, you are having tendency to one particular behavior. Everybody is not same. Some people, they will just having inclination towards one thing, the other will have inclination or preference towards other thing. So he's saying each man of us is able to fulfill those obligations to as per our own inclinations and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both those obligations. Now he's saying that in my country, South Africa, being born as black man was not at all easy. I could not fulfill my obligation as a family man also. When he was having some basic, they were divided of basic facilities also. They were not able to earn properly. They were not able to fulfill the needs of their family properly. So he's saying in South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. They were isolating the people because of their color. that you are a black man, you're not supposed to enter our hotel. You're a black man, you're not supposed to do the vote. You're a black man, you cannot do this, cannot do that. There were a lot of restrictions on the community of black people. So he's saying a person like me was not able to enjoy the basic rights also, that right to live, right to breathe, right to eat, and right to walk even properly in society. So this is the basic right he was not enjoying. And in South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart, a twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. Obviously, if you will seclude a person from his family, definitely he will become a rebellion. Rebellion is a person who does exactly opposite of what is expected. Clear? So okay, Princey, I'm doing it better side by side. Sometimes we just uh, forget to share, continue, because we are so busy in explaining. Sometimes it happens with us. Clear? So we are reading this paragraph. He's saying that in South Africa, they were devoid of basic facilities. A man who tried to fulfill his duty, they were ripped apart from the society, that you're not supposed to live in the society. If you're doing some extra course or you're trying to fulfill your needs, they were secluded from rest of the people. Fine, they were turning into rebellion. And that's why most of the people, and when we are facing discrimination, our attitude also changes. We start you can say showing bad behavior with our family also. So they were getting you can say torture from everywhere. But in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. He's saying that I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family. He's firstly admitting it, that if I say, okay, start thinking about the society, charity always begins from home, I say. If you want to do something good, start from your own family first. Your cordial relationship with your father and mother, your brother and sister, that comes at first place. Then your responsibility towards your relatives and friends, then your responsibility towards your society. So there is preference level. So he's saying that in the beginning, I always chose my family first and my people later on. Obviously, I was not born. Now, better be careful. He's going to share that what he felt, that how this hunger for freedom actually was born. Clear? He's going to tell that whenever a person achieves something, there is always a beginning point, a spark, and that spark changes into that fire, and how out of that fire a person gets polished and how he become what he is now. Clear? There's always a story behind a successful man. So he's going to share that story, that how I was not born with a hunger to be free. Clear? This paragraph I'm talking about, this one. Let me I was this paragraph. Clear? I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know. He's saying that I was not born, I was not having a hunger to be free. When a child is born, that child doesn't know what is freedom and how to live free, the basic rights and all. We people are teaching them. So he's saying I was not born with hunger to be free. I was born free. Everybody is born free. So free in every way, free to run in the fields near my mother's hut. Underline these beautiful lines. He's just explaining that I was even minute things, small things of life, he was not able to enjoy. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast millies. Millies, underline the word millies. Millies is maize corn. Corn hota hai na jo corn, maize maze, maize corn. He was free to roast millies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. He has just explained I don't think so. There is any Saket in your class, beta. Is there any Saket? I don't think so. This is a new student. I haven't heard the name even. Yes. So I won't let such students enter. Clear? Now, he was just telling that he was not supposed to roast millies under the stars and riding the bulls and taking, you can say, part in swimming and running in the fields. So these were the basic facilities. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. This is the thing. If you want to achieve something, you have to do something. If you want to achieve freedom, you have to start from somewhere. Without doing anything, you cannot achieve something. So he's saying, by the time I was leading very normal life, just like other children, I was not tortured by any person. When I did not interfere into any of the custom or any of the rule, I was leading very normal life. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion. Now, see, as a child does not understand what is the, I already told you that what is the color, what is the height, and if somebody is fat, somebody is thin, he's beautiful, she is ugly. And such kind of terminology is taught by us to our children. So, as a child, he enjoyed his childhood, but when he entered his boyhood, boyhood is the teenage, he understood that this is an illusion, this is not, my freedom is not real. When I discovered, because he was able to understand, in the society people started doing discrimination with him. When I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, now he understood that, I began to hunger for it. You are hungry for something when something is snatched from you. When it is given to you in abundance, you will not be hungry. You give a child everything, he won't eat. When you say that I'm going to snatch everything from you, then he will say, yes, I want to eat it. This is a normal human phenomena. So he's saying that then my hunger for freedom started when I realized that I am not free. I wanted freedom only for myself at first as a student. He realized that, yes, I want to be free. I want to lead free life. Clear? So it was only then after that, beta, I pleased and go where I chose. Sorry, beta. I wanted freedom only for myself. The transitory freedom. Transitory freedom is temporary freedom, whichever changes. So this is the transitory freedom. Fine. From here onwards. So he was just wanted the freedom which was transitory of being able to stay out at night. What is the transitory freedom which we people, the teenagers mostly enjoy? Stay out at night, read what I like to read, and go wherever I want to. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential. Now, this is the step by step. As a child, he does not know what freedom is all about. He was born free. As a boy, now he started realizing personal freedom, what he wanted to do for himself. Fine. Now, when he's growing up as a young man, he yearned for basic and honorable freedoms like earning my keep, means he wanted to earn for himself. I yearned for basic freedoms like of marrying, on having a family. Every stage has different kinds of freedom. So he wanted to get married, he wanted to earn money, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. So he does not want anyone to, you can say, enter into his personal space. So that kind of freedom as a young man he wanted. Clear? So in this paragraph, but then here onwards, but then I slowly saw, not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. This is the time when idea of getting free and making his people free entered his mind. Clear? I can ask any of you about the freedom, the level of freedoms which changed in his life. Clear? Now, my brothers and sisters were not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed. Curtailed is reduced, taken away. It was not only, then he started getting aware. You know, you might have read that poem Seven Ages by Shakespeare. If you have not heard, he has just mentioned that at different stage we have different preferences. So in this chapter, he is having different preferences as a young boy, as a young man. And now when he'll be getting married, having the family, then he starts seeing the other men of society also. He sees that, but then I slowly saw not only I was free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed or reduced, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did. Looked like I did means all the black men, all the South Africans. So now he understood that on the basis of color there is discrimination. Now comes the apartheid system, that segregation of society on the basis of race. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became greater hunger for freedom of my people. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated my life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one. Now he's sharing that he was a very, you can say, innocent and simple man who's living life with his wife and children and just leading, earning and spending money. But when he was aware, he joined this Congress party. Then he realized, after joining African National Congress, that he has to work something harder. He changed himself into a bold personality. Fine, everybody can do it. As a child, I was, very, you can say, I was scared of speaking. I was having communication problem. I was not able to express myself, but slowly and steadily I started, you know getting over my fears. When I started speaking once, it boosted my confidence, and after getting that boost, I kept on participating in many competitions and singing and debating in speech competition. And then I realized that yes, why can't I speak if others can speak? So in that way, one, confidence comes from within, by seeing others, also by improving yourself also. So we have to take steps if you want to go forward. If you don't want to, you want to sit at one place, you will keep sitting on one place only. You won't be able to achieve something extraordinary. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to do something extraordinary. This is the thing to be noticed. So he's saying that now he changed himself into a bold man that drove a law abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life loving man to live like a monk. This expression means he was, otherwise he was a law abiding attorney. Attorney is a lawyer who knows the system of law and all. He's saying otherwise he was very, good person, behaving in a good manner, that everybody is good, I should behave in a nice way. But the opposite persons are behaving with you nicely? No, they are doing discrimination with you and you are being nice. So he changed himself, he became very bold. From law abiding person to he became a criminal kind of, you can say, he was ready to do anything for the sake of his country. And half loving, you can say, from this family loving husband to he became a person without home. He was okay, he sacrificed living with his family, he was put behind bars, he was okay with it. Then from life loving man to live life like a monk. Monk is a saint does not, enjoy the basic amenities of life. They live life without these basic amenities, ACs, and sitting here and there watching movies, and they live life differently. So he was ready to go to next level for the sake of the freedom. I'm no more virtuous or self-sacrificing than the next man. But I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. He says that this realization dawned upon me. I realized that my people were not free when I was not free. My family is not free. The people like me who are black in color and they are South African, they are not free. Then I decided, no, I will not sit like this. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. So he concluded, chains on me is equal to chains on my people. Chains on my people is equal to chains on me. Akshidua, you're joining now, beta. When we are about to end this period, I'm letting you in to tell that you won't be marked present. So kindly note you are absent today, though you have joined in the last 5 minutes. Clear? So freedom is indivisible. The chains on, he just decided that whatever chains are on me, they are chains on my people, and chains on my people are equal to me. So we all are divided of basic freedom. I will fight for it. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely. We are left with better 5 minutes only, so please pay attention. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. Oppressor is the one country who is, you can say, giving pressure to you. Oppressed class is that class which is bearing the torture. So a man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. He's saying the people, like white men, were doing torture to them. And what Nelson Mandela feels, he feels, even I feel, the people who are doing torture to us, even they are prisoners. They are prisoners because they are having narrow-mindedness. They are stuck in cheap thinking. They are stuck in narrow-mindedness. They do not have broad vision. They just are behind the bars of prejudice, bhedbhav. I'm not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. Just as surely as I'm not free when my freedom is taken from me. He's saying, even I'm not free, even I believe that these white people are not free because they are taking away our freedom. The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity because there is no humanity among such people, those who are, you can say, this picture. So finally, Nelson Mandela was able to win this battle. Fine. And he was able to make his people free. He was able to give what he wanted to the society. And firstly, that freedom started as a child. He wanted to enjoy basic rights. As a boy, young boy, he wanted to enjoy basic rights. In his adulthood, he wanted the basic rights to, you can say, participate in the basic norms of the society. Then when he joined African National Congress, then he realized, I will fight for my people. Fine. So his concept of freedom changed altogether from beginning till end. The concept of freedom changed altogether, and he did a lot of sacrifices for his people. Many important years or basic years of his life, when one is supposed to enjoy his life, he just was behind the bars, and just for he sacrificed his, you can say, precious years. But what he got in response to it as a result, that is even beyond expression. He received freedom of his country, and first ever, you can say, African who was considered, who was chosen as the president of South Africa. So he achieved what he wanted. So what we learn from this story, we can achieve anything with determination, with continuous efforts, with consistent efforts, without putting full stop anywhere. Clear, beta? So this story is all about following your dream, whatsoever it is, whether your dream is for yourself or whether it is for your country or community. Clear?